Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. We are sitting here Thursday afternoon in the middle of July. We got a storyline that we now need to monitor for this USC program heading into fall camp, heading into the 2025 year, and that is Purdue offensive line transfer DJ Wingfield, who I think many of us kind of projecting to be a starting guard for USC rolling into 2025 has not yet gotten his waiver of eligibility for USC going into 2025. Now, I want to start with this. I was sitting here in the middle of July. I would be stunned if DJ Wingfield was not ruled eligible to play for USC in the 2025 year. We've seen this storyline play out with a couple of different players, most notably Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. We're seeing it play out with running back Rasul Faison for South Carolina. In the middle of July right here, I would be floored if DJ Wingfield is not ruled eligible to play for USC in the 2025 year. But it does open up the conversation of one, why do I think DJ Wingfield is a pretty damn important piece for USC rolling into 2025? And we have to open up the conversation of, hey, if DJ Wingfield does not get granted eligibility, what's the USC offensive line look like rolling into the 2025 year? I want to start with this. I'll start with this actually. The NCAA is a joke. I mean, and it's not just because of this process, but the mere fact that DJ Wingfield, who just participated in winter workouts and spring practice, is with the team in summer workouts right now. The fact that we're sitting here in the middle of July and this kid doesn't know if he can play football for USC in the 2025 year is an absolute joke. The NCAA they've had 8 months to figure this out. So one, I didn't need any more reason to hate the NCAA. This is an absolute joke how they're managing this. And I said the same thing for Rasul Faison at South Carolina, who still doesn't know if he can play for South Carolina. Number two, and more practical to USC here. This is not me getting up here and saying that DJ Wingfield's going to be a first-team All-Big Ten offensive lineman or a top 50 NFL draft pick. That's, at least in my opinion, not the player that DJ Wingfield is. But what he is a very reliable starting guard for USC that just showed us at Purdue that, hey, he ain't elite, but he's a reliable plug-and-play guard for USC in the Big Ten. There's just not that many offensive linemen on this roster that we've seen play in the Big Ten. So DJ Wingfield, to me, is an important piece. But just as importantly as that, he provides a lot of versatility for this USC offensive line as well. Back in 2023, when he was playing ball for New Mexico, was a solid right tackle for New Mexico. And you look at USC, and I've been pretty vocal about this. I think the starting 5 offensive linemen for USC, that should be a good unit. And there are a lot of things that I like about USC rolling into 2025, but one of, if not my biggest concerns is, hey, are we deep enough on the offensive line going into 2025? How many guys on the offensive line do we trust to play high-level Big Ten football? DJ Wingfield's a guy you slot under that category, and USC's already, in my opinion, thin as it is on the offensive line, losing a veteran, versatile piece up front before the season even starts. That, to me, would certainly be a storyline that we would need to monitor for USC rolling into 2025. Now, I want to get a little bit more into DJ Wingfield and talk about what this offensive line looks like without DJ Wingfield as well, the potential possibilities, how we shuffle these guys around. Before we get into it, as always, the USC fans, as much fun as I've had talking this program on the recruiting trail, and I cannot overstate the amount of fun I've had. Really fired up for this program to roll into fall camp. There are a lot of really fun storylines that we have to break down over the next month and a half. Cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I want to pull up the depth chart real quick and talk about, how I view this. The reason I was such a supporter of getting DJ Wingfield out of the transfer portal was not because I thought DJ Wingfield was the best player in the portal, but it was the fact that, hey, he just showed us in 2023 or 2024, that is, that he's a quality guard in the Big Ten, right? 394 pass pro opportunities, 15 quarterback hurries, only gave up 3 sacks. Those aren't elite numbers. They ain't going to get you drafted in the top 50, but those are reliable starting offensive line numbers. That was what I liked the most. Is just similar to how we talked about with Janory Reed, who I think is just a better player, but very similar conversation. Hey, DJ Wingfield and Reed are two guys that we trust to come in and play quality football for USC. The other reason I was a supporter of it was he's got tackle experience, and you look at USC and say, I think there are three tackles that USC has confidence in. Elijah Page, who I think can be an absolute dog in 2025. Tobias Raymond, who I am a big fan of. We're still not sold on Tobias Raymond, but I think we believe in Tobias Raymond. And then Justin T, who I thought played pretty dang good in the bowl game as a freshman against Texas A&M. It's three tackles. You probably want that number to be up to 4 or 5. The fourth tackle that you trust is probably a true freshman in Aaron Dunn or Alex Payne. And so the way I looked at it is as a break glass tackle option for USC, DJ Wingfield was probably number 3, maybe number 4. And so that's the other thing is like, hey, do I think USC could replace DJ Wingfield at guard? Yeah, probably. Am I concerned about the depth of this offensive line if DJ Wingfield is not eligible to play? Yeah, absolutely. Right. And that kind of gets into why he's important. Now, what would it look like if DJ Wingfield can't play for USC? To me, it's probably Tobias Raymond kicking inside and then Justin T at right tackle. Because at least the way I look at it, I think Justin T is your 6th best offensive lineman. And I'm more of a proponent of, hey, Tobias Raymond, we haven't seen him play a ton of guard, but I would want one of my best offensive linemen on the football field. So if DJ Wingfield can't play, I'm guessing you kick Tobias Raymond into guard. Justin T is now your starting right tackle. And then the concern there is, all right, it's Elijah Page, Justin T. If something happens to either of those tackles, we're in a concerning spot with who's going to be the tackle that plays. That's why I think DJ Wingfield's so important. And look, I ain't getting up here and being a doomsday prepper. Look, if DJ Wingfield can't play for USC in 2025, I don't think they're going to have a very hard time replacing him, but it does make you concerned about the depth of this offensive line. And that's something that's really important. That's something Chad Bowden has clearly valued him. You look at Chad Bowden, he's coming to USC and said, hey, we're going to recruit the piss out of the offensive line because we don't want to be in this problem again where we don't have 7 guys that we trust up front. It's what separates teams from, I mean, go look at Chad Bowden's Notre Dame team last year. Notre Dame had brutal injury luck up front, and they had enough depth and quality bodies to kind of run right through it and make a run at the national championship. That's where Chad Bowden wants to get this USC football team to. They're not quite there in 2025. I guess what, to kind of wind down this conversation is if DJ Wingfield can't play, it's not that we can't replace DJ Wingfield as a football player. It's more important about, hey, are we deep enough on the offensive line? If we have 1 or 2 injuries, what's this unit going to look like? It's probably my take on the situation. I do have a couple of general pre-fall camp thoughts. Number 1, in general, and I know we just talked about the offensive line having some question marks about depth. This team's really freaking deep. And there's going to be a lot of competitive position battles. Like, look, if you want to get on the football field, especially at certain positions, you're going to have to be good, especially on the defensive line. You know, you look back to last year, like, hey, if you had a Paulson, you were over 300 pounds, we needed you to play. Now it's, hey, if a guy like G-Day wants to play going into year 2, or even if some of these transfer defensive tackles, Keyshawn Silver, Jamal Jarrett, if these guys want to play, you're going to have to be good, and you're going to have to go earn it in fall camp. That's where USC really lacked last year. And you look across the board outside of the offensive line, I think this is a deep team. It's a competitive team, and there's going to be a lot of really fun position battles that include some veteran guys that we know can play, and then some young cats pushing them. I don't think it's any more obvious than in the secondary. You have a guy like DJ Harvey, who we know can play, coming from San Jose State. We got a guy in the Carlos Nicholson who we saw play last year, and we know he can play at the Power 4 level. You also have a guy like Chasen Johnson going into year 2. Marcellus Williams going into year 2. Braylon Conley going into year 2. You got some young cats that are pushing these veterans. That is going to elevate everybody's play. That's what fires me up the most about fall camp. Some really intriguing and competitive position battles with some young cats nipping at the heels of some of these veterans. Here's the other thing I'll say, and I'll just say, I mean, we'll get more into this as the season gets closer. Can USC capitalize on the off-field momentum? There is not a program that's buzzing more on as a program, not just on the recruiting trail, but as a program than USC. Now that also lines up with a really good opportunity to get the ball rolling in the 2025 schedule. I mean, I look at these first 5 games and say it's very, very real that USC enters the month of October as an undefeated football team, probably going to be a top 15, top 10 ranked team in the country, probably top 10 ranked team in the country. Missouri State, Georgia Southern, like those should be, if USC is even close to as good as I think they're going to be, that they're going to win those games. Then you go on the road to Purdue. Not really sure what Purdue's going to be, but I would be stunned if they're even close to USC. There's a lot of changes going on within that program. Then you get Michigan State coming across the country. Now, Michigan State could be a sneaky, scrappy team because I think they have a really talented young quarterback in Aiden Childs. They had a few difference makers at the pass catcher position, but that's also a game that I think USC should win, especially at home. It all comes down to September 27th, going on the road to Champaign, Illinois. And that's going to be an Illinois football team that's probably going to be a top 10 ranked team in the country. That's probably going to be a primetime football game where USC is going on the road, Big Ten matchup, playing Illinois, hopefully at night. I'll say this year going into this kind of matchup, I have more confidence with USC than I did last year. Now, last year, Illinois plays USC. What I'm most concerned is Illinois got a big, burly offensive line coached by Brett Bielema. They got a very, very good run game. Can USC even hold up on the defensive line going up against that Illinois offensive line? That's a big and physical unit. Going into this year, I have a lot of confidence that USC can. I mean, again, 12 months ago, the biggest concern was, can USC hold up along the lines of scrimmage? Now you're saying that, hey, we think USC can. And if USC can against a team like Illinois and a couple other things fall your way, I think USC can win that football game. You're going into October undefeated, and then you got Michigan coming to town. That's how you get the ball rolling. Can USC take the momentum that they've built in the offseason and translate it to the 2025 year? I think they got a good chance to do it. We will pause it there. We will monitor the DJ Wingfield conversation. Wanted to hop on and at least give some of my thoughts here. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.